Welcome to the show, guys. All right, got these gentlemen with me in the Hawaii studio. Mr. Stock Up with Larry Jones. If you guys, I know a couple of you, one person doesn't know who these two guys are. Let me tell you real quick. This is Stock Up with Larry Jones. He's on YouTube. He is an incredible momentum trader. He's got his pulse on the market. Over to my direction over here. I don't know if this is my left or right, but Mr. Keenan Grace is in the studio. Happy to have both of you guys here. Keenan, what do you have to say to the good people?
You got to unmute him.
We got to unmute him.
Unmute him.
Hold on. There we go.
This is not financial advice. No. Thanks for having me on, Josh. It's always an honor to see you.
And Mo is joining us. So we've got a lot to go over, and I've come prepared because I've got a play that I've been watching that I think could really take off. Now, the Fed gave an aggressive 50 basis point cut, and the markets ripped today to an all-time high. And the very first thing I thought when I saw that beautiful movement of price action higher, the very first thing I thought of was my buddy Keenan Grace, because I love it when he said, if you see the SPY hitting all-time highs, I've never been richer. Now, he doesn't say that to boast. He says that to focus people on where the big money is ultimately made on Wall Street, which is long-term investing. And, you want to have that long-term account for just the psychology of it alone. When you see it steadily go up over the years, it's what you're going to hold on to. You can do your swing trading, you can do your day trading, but long-term investment is where it's at. Keenan, what are your thoughts on that today?
So, my thoughts, if everyone can hear me, because I was on mute a second ago, but now that I'm not on mute, is I always say you need to have a strong foundation. If you can't handle the heat, it's because your foundation is weak. And
I love it.
The reason that I say that is you have to have, in my personal opinion, again, everybody's different, everybody's journey is different, but this has worked for me and literally everybody before me. When your portfolio is at least 60% ETFs or something that's going to be solid at least, then you'll be able to trade quicker and better because you'll have something that'll grow even when you do lose a trade here or there. Now, I wanted to just give you guys a quick fact, and I had wrote it down. I didn't want to forget it. The stock market year to date has reached all-time highs 23 different times, and it was time maybe 16. This is the 16th all-time high we got in a year. This was literally in Q1 because the market was pumping up at the beginning of the year. Somebody said in one of Larry's videos, I said this story before, man, Keenan Grace is buying VOO at all-time highs. And I'm like, you're thinking about VOO as if it was an individual stock, as if it was a hype stock, as if it was a fly-by-night kind of stock. No, this is an ETF. This is the overall market. People tell you that the stock market is rigged. If the stock market is rigged, which I can't say it's not, it's rigged to go up. It's rigged for the billionaires and the people who are in politics, allegedly, supposedly. You know what politician we talking about, to make a lot of money. So if we're going to bet with the majority of our money into this market, it makes sense to bet on America, just to be honest with you. It's as simple as that. And then we go and look for our Nvidias. We go and look for our AMDs. We go and look for our Palantirs and different stocks like that after our foundation is strong.
Keenan, could you tell that statistic one more time? So in what time frame, how many times have we hit a new all-time high?
So since about 1950, the average, sometimes it's less, sometimes it's way more, but the average that the stock market will hit an all-time high in a single year is 16. This year, there's been 23 all-time highs, and it's only September. We still have the rest of the year to go. So we could hit all-time highs again and again and again, but we're already at 23. So when you hear the market has an all-time high, that's a nothing burger in terms of an indicator. It's not really telling you, oh yeah, we should get puts, or oh yeah, we should get, it's not telling you anything. It's just telling you just the market hit all-time high again. This is like saying, hey, the sun's out again. It just is what it is. It isn't telling you too much information.
Now, all right, so I think of a saying that I get from Larry regarding the trees don't grow to the sky. And so today's video is titled Breaking Point, because I want to entertain what is ultimately going to potentially break the back of this incredible bull market that we've been in for all of 2023. You got to remember, January of 2023 was supposed to be the mother of all recessions, an absolute collapse of the markets after a terrible 2022. Never happened, took off like a rocket, and all of big tech stocks have been screaming higher. But we have been running up now for a year and a half, and we have a problem, which is that the majority of big tech companies really started pulling back and coming off of their all-time highs since late June and July. And so we've yet to get back the big tech, all of the big tech companies back up to the top. And so, Larry, I'm going to lead off with you. So, you know, as you said, how does this go? Trees
don't grow to the sky.
They don't grow to the sky. And so the Fed gave a 50 basis point cut.
Right.
That was a surprise to some.
To most.
To most, because he had given really no indication. And he specifically said in July that they were only considering a 25 basis point cut.
Correct.
Okay, so it was a surprise. More often than not, when a rate cycle begins to go into the easing phase, Fed does lead with a 50 basis point cut, often out of necessity. And so it did appear to me that if he led with a 25 basis point cut, it would suggest that the market was doing pretty good and that he wasn't scared. And it was a concern to me that if he were to drop a 50, that it would send some alarms. So far, all it does has rung the bell for the bulls to get moving. If you can imagine anything, and I'm going to come to you in a minute, Mo, and in addition to that, I'm going to give you guys the hot play that I'm looking at tomorrow for next week. If this market wants to continue to go higher, this is the one that I want to be riding up. I'm going to give you guys that. I'm going to ask these guys what their pick is. And today, I'm going to give you guys what the SPY has to do to remain in the bullish trend tomorrow in the last half hour before close. How do we need to close out this week for next week to be signaling bullish? And then we're going to also have to talk about what next week has to do. I think it's going to be a great show. Thank you for joining me. This is the Stock Squad tonight. Larry, what's going to break the back of this bull move right now?
Okay.
Not to throw a wet blanket on the bull move. It's exciting. But how are you viewing it with your investments?
The red pill or the blue pill? That's why I wore these glasses. So, listen, you don't have to pick a pill. That's what I want to say about this market. A lot of people think, and we were just talking about it, people are either hot or cold. And they think, okay, well, the Fed did this, the market did this, so it's going to be a straight line up. Trees don't grow to the sky. And unfortunately, some people will get caught, right? Because they feel like just because the market took off today, that we're good now. And that's not so, right? And I'm not bearish, Larry. I'm bullish, long-term, Larry. But what I would tell you is that the S&P and the Dow, again, to Keenan's point, hit all-time intradays high again today. Again today, to add to what he was saying. And now we keep going up and up and up and up. Mr. Tom Lee came out today, Mr. Permabull. And remember, he was 55, 60. Now he's like 52. He's going the other way. I played it on my video today. He's saying the same thing I'm saying, that we're not out of the woods yet, even though the Fed did a 50 basis point cut, because the Fed, you and I know he's behind. He should have did a 25 last FOMC meeting. So now he's behind. Josh and I were just talking about the market still does not know what direction it's going. The market needs 48 hours, good people. Always say that. We've been here so many times, and if we get a green day, people think it's over. No, this market needs a good 48 hours to decipher everything that was said on yesterday. Then I believe it. So it's not red or blue pill. We have to see. Meanwhile, Josh, we're not so bearish that we haven't been in the market where we're not making money. We're still in these plays where we're making money. I just showed you my Palantir play, where and it's a call option where we are making money. I shared it with the Discord.
He showed me his phone just a moment ago. The trades that he's in, Palantir's killing it.
Yeah, and so we can participate in this bull run, just like Keenan. I'm loaded with VOO. I'm loaded with VTI. I'm loaded with the ETFs. And you know what I'm loading up on now? IWM. Because small caps are about to move. And people go, well, blah, 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 it's too early. Not for me. Anything we say is not suggested for you to buy, hold, or sell. But now's the time to start rotating because as the Fed continue these rate cuts, small caps will start to move up.
Well, I agree with you, Larry.
Yeah.
And as far as playing, I do have a lot of cash. I did go risk off going into this event, not stressed about it because when the market pops, the portfolio pops, and I can still follow behind and see what it's going to do. But I'm going to tell you guys where I'm going to put some money to work here in a minute. But let's go to Mo. Mo, I wanted to get some feedback from you regarding TMF. I'm curious. This is a critical moment because this is a moment that I've been watching your show and a fan. TMF's been really profitable recently, and I'm curious, what did the 50 basis point cut mean to you? And are you making any shifts in that? Is it time to get in, or is it time to take profit? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, guys, can you put me on the main screen? I don't
I
know if
got
I
you.
am. I'm going to share some charts. All right. So here's the deal. For anybody that's watched the channel today, you know I pulled the trigger. We had a monster, we'll say, as you guys can see, a monster cut. And we were at 5.5. Now we're down 50 basis points. For everybody saying the market didn't go down, it went up. It normally doesn't go down the day after. It usually takes a few days. But here's the switch from quantitative tightening down to quantitative easing. Recession, 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 recession. Oh, we just did another one here. What word comes after what I've been saying? Recession. Well, I'm not done. I'm not done. We move up. We got the new LEI, the leading economic indicators. This is the crystal ball from DC that we all want. This is what the Fed uses. They come in here. This is what's going to tell us if we have an official recession. Well, let me show you this little piece. Now, this is the chart. This is a very, I'm going to dumb it down to real simple. If we got red lines, recession. All right. August decline in the U.S. leading economic indicators lowered the 6-month growth rate, triggering a recession signal. Let's look at the last signals. Recession, recession, recession. Not yet. It's coming. And I've been talking about this. Oh, not enough information, Mo. Give us more. How about the Buffett indicator? 200% when 100 is fair value. Way overbought market. Moving forward. How about the Fed themselves? How about we give the New York Fed and what they're predicting 12 months ahead using leading economic indicators, the odds of a recession by August next summer, 61.78% recession. Now, guys, I saw the market. I saw what's going on. I saw the NASDAQ pop today like a champ. Looked like popcorn at the movie theater. I was loving it. All right. But I also looked at all the data, and I'm not convinced. You're not fooling me. I put $60,000 into TMF today. Now, on top of that, yesterday, I had 60 contracts to cover 6,000 shares of TMF as a put option.
Wow.
And I made bank off of it.
Wow.
And then I just rolled that into TMF today. And
Nice.
and we're up since we did that. So all the moves I did, I covered it. I'm ready for it. TMF is I said this, 12 months to 24 months after the first rate cut, we see 100. And that's minimum. That's my base case. Bear case, if we have an official recession, we could get up to 200 apiece, folks. It is that serious.
So let me ask you this.
Show you one more thing. One more thing, though.
Go ahead.
And here is TMF for everyone to say, oh, TMF, I can't believe it got smoked. Here's TMF over the last month, 3.9% up. Let's look at the NASDAQ, 0.77. It has 5 times the return of the NASDAQ, and I think it's only going to get better from here on out. That's take.
Exactly what I was wanting to get a handle on, is if you felt that it was going to be higher moving forward in the next 6 months or 12 months. And would it have mattered if the rate cut had been 25, Mo, or did it help TMF that it was 50?
It helped TMF. It was 50. If it was 25, TMF would have got smoked probably down to about 58 to 59. Is what I was thinking.
Gotcha. I love that. Okay, Keenan, what do you think is going to? I'm actually going to give some data, and I'd love for you to respond to it. And ultimately, it's going to be the same question. We are climbing higher, and we have the data that Mo just gave us does reflect the problems that we've got down the road, but does not necessarily reflect the minute that we're in right now, because as we've covered in the past on this page, the market can rally 6 to 8% after that first rate cut. It doesn't go straight down, even though it does indicate a recession. So what is it that the market's looking for? Well, one of the things we know it's looking for is unemployment data. We got this week's unemployment data, and it was actually a surprise that unemployment new claims had fallen. So we actually went weekly unemployment claims dropped by 12,000, giving us a 4-month low in new claims. And so that is one of the reasons why the market took off today, because if we can get inflation to come down and unemployment to stay down, then this market will not fall into a recession. And you'll be talking soft landing, Goldilocks environment. I'm going to give two more.
No one's going to hear that part, Josh. They're not going to.
Well, then I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to repeat it.
Thank you.
If inflation stays where it's at, I'm going to be honest with you, it doesn't even have to go down. If it largely doesn't go past 3% in the coming days and unemployment largely stays where it's at, this market will continue to rip the entire time those two data points stay in line. And so, but the very minute that people begin to believe a new trend has begun, inflation's beginning to move back up because of the easing, unemployment begins to move up, then we've got that stagflation story. We have one more data point I want to share with you. U.S. August leading economic indicators, they fell today less than was expected. So there was the expectation of some economic decline, but it didn't, the floor didn't fall out. And as a result, it's also what caused the markets to go higher. Keenan, I'm curious about putting money to work in this market. And, we talked a little bit about how you are happy to invest. You gave us the business plan right at the open, which was that the S&P 500 hits 16 new all-time highs on average every year.
Yes.
So I get that. But what about the market, and what could break down these markets from your point of view? And how, I know that you're not scared of the markets breaking down. No. I know that. But what are your thoughts on the market pulling back and going into a recession? And what would cause it to happen? Or are we going to avoid it?
Turn this more towards me a little bit? Okay, yeah. So everybody, let me know if you can hear me well. I try to talk, so I seen some of the comments talking about how you couldn't hear me. This is what I want you to think about. SPY, ticker symbol SPY. We hit an all-time high today. If we get to 573, Keenan Grace is going to be playing call options, 2-week expiration for 577. I'm going to be playing it on the way up. There are so many people who are telling you that there's going to be a recession tomorrow, that the sky is going to fall out of the floor. Listen, if that happens, take advantage of it. But while it's not happening, what you need to do is currently take advantage of the bull market. I hear so many people saying they got all this dry powder on the sideline. Guess who has literally almost no dry powder on the sideline? Me. Because this is what I do. I get paid. I take half of that money. I get it ready for taxes. I take the other half of that money, and then I put it towards business expenses, and then I put it in VOO. It's as simple as that. Then, if I have a little bit left, what I'll go and do is I'll trade that, and I'll teach others how to trade as well. Now, I got some numbers for you that I wanted to share.
But you're not suggesting that for everybody.
I'm not suggesting that for anybody. What I want you to do is learn how to trade. And like I often say, you want to learn so that you can take the L off of that and then earn. I'm here to teach you how to trade and show you what I'm doing literally in real time. And I wanted to just give you a few points. This is why I want you to understand that you can't be so afraid that the market is going to fall out of nowhere. First of all, like Josh said, inflation is largely staying in the 2%. What can make it really go left is if we start to see in the 3% again. Now it's time to really be in fear in terms of everybody else is in fear. So you need to say, I don't necessarily want to feel that way. So it's time for me to be risk off. Now, the Fed cut the basis points by 50 points. In this case, what is this making people do? Take their money out of their money market accounts,
Yep.
which there is 6.4 trillion. Even in 2023, there was 6.4 trillion. It could be even more now.
Yep.
That's sitting in these high yield savings accounts, money market accounts, and their interest that they were gaining is going to be lower now. So then they're allocating some of that and pumping it into the market, which is upping it and adding to it further. So this is why I am saying that what I'm going to do is I will play it up. But then let's say the floor falls out of SPY, the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, everything, right? Just collapses. The housing market, everything. What I'm going to do is say, you know what? What got beat down that's a great company? It has survived this before. Apple, Google, Meta, things like that. Even Nvidia. And I'm going to get what they call a leap option on them. To not to where they weren't before, but to where their current all-time highs are. So let's say we get another year like 2022, and we see Apple. We hear Warren Buffett is selling all of his Apple shares and so on and so forth. Apple fell down to what? Under $200, I want to say. And now it's back up to like $230 almost. Guess what would have made a lot of sense? Getting leap options, getting options that expire like a year out, sitting on it and just waiting to make some money.
You know, about a month ago, I got into leap options for Tesla, alerted it in the Discord. There was a moment in time in which I got out, but I got back into the same ones, and they're sitting up 37% right now. And so that is one of the things that I'm looking at, is giving myself some time, because I do expect more volatility. I'm going to pull Larry up here in just a minute. But before I do, guys, if you appreciate the content and us getting together for this extra video that we do together every 2 weeks, I guess we're trying to do it.
Yeah.
Then hit that like for me, guys. It pushes the video out to more viewers. Again, stock up with Larry Jones, Keenan Grace, and the man
Josh,
Moses.
I got a quick story I want to tell.
Go ahead.
So, so I got on a plane, right, with Larry Jones, and we get off of the plane, right, and we ended up in Hawaii. And now listen, Larry Jones is a man of God, right? So is everybody here. We get off the plane, and when you get off of the plane for Hawaii, you might get one of these necklaces, right? You might get one of these necklaces. So, you know, I'm hearing Larry, and he's like, man, I got off the plane, and I was expecting to get laid. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like,
What are you talking about?
and then he said it again, right? He's joking around, but when I tell you the joke was just over my head, he's like, I'm expecting to get laid. Now, those of you who know, this is a lay. And you get off of the plane, and they say, hey, and they give you a lay. So then Larry got off the plane, and he didn't get laid. And you can see that, who got laid.
And I was frustrated. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, hit that like, guys. If you've never seen them, this is the fam. The four of us here, it's the Stock Squad. And the reason why we do these shows is because we help each other. We are not, you don't want to be in a box. You want to be in a community. These are the guys that sharpen me and teach me things I'm not looking at.
Can I shout Mo out?
Absolutely.
Look, I'm gonna tell you guys. We had guests on. We had Trading with Ashley on, and people was like, "Is she replacing Mo?" No one could ever and will ever replace Mo. Mo is holding it down.
Mo's a legend.
I got the East Coast. I'm holding down continental East Coast. These guys are out there in the islands.
There you go. Just know that Mo is holding it down. Mo takes care of the Patreon, all of that stuff. Mo holds it down and allows us to do this. So listen, Mo is part of the team, period. So don't even ask any crazy questions. Is somebody replacing Mo? Never, ever gonna happen. Mo is one of us deep. We appreciate Mo for holding it down and allowing us the time to do what we do. Appreciate you, Mo.
This is the family. And on that note, guys, hit that like for me. But also, I want to shout out an event that Stock Up with Larry Jones is putting together. It's already put together. It's in Maryville, Indiana, right outside Chicagoland. So a lot of people can attend. And Larry, just tell them a little bit about it. I'm going to pull the screen up while you do.
There we go. Hey, this event is called Money and Music. And I got my man Stocks with Josh as my special guest. Stocks with Josh. And then we got my man Chris Sane as special guest. We got some of the top musicians in the world that's going to just do a 30-minute set. I mean, they've played from everybody from Beyonce to Kendrick Lamar, you name it, the Isley brothers, just the top musicians in the world. They're going to come through and play. But we are going to pump into you stocks and crypto. And I intentionally put it in October and not now. That was intentional. So click that link, good people. Be in the place. I made it literally. All you got is a service charge. It's not even a ticket price. It's a service charge. I made it dirty, dirt cheap. And because we want you guys to come. Don't even think about it. Click the button. Purchase your ticket today.
I'm looking forward to it. And I'm going to tell you guys that your journey has to include some charting. It may not have included any charting up till now, but I'm going to tell you the miracle of beginning to slowly learn the technicals. All of a sudden, it removes the fear, and there's this confidence that comes in you to take risk. You wouldn't drive your car blind unless it was a Tesla, but you can't do that anymore, can you? No, they changed and they put a camera on you. They're watching you now. But you wouldn't ride a bike blind. You wouldn't drive a car blind. You have to learn the technicals. And I'm coming in the segment of time that Larry's giving me to speak. I am going to absolutely go through a very quick course of how to supercharge your technical understanding. And I'm excited to bring that alpha. I'm excited to bring that teaching. So don't miss it. Guys, we got some good stuff planned. Hit that like if you're coming. Throw a 1, as Keenan likes to say. I learned this from these guys. Throw a 1 in the chat if you're going to be in Chicago to take a picture with Larry and I and Chris Sane, another special guest. I'm looking forward to both of what they've got to say, and it's going to be, and then the music. I've been knowing Larry for a long time, I won't even say, but many a decade, and I have attended his parties. First of all, him and his wife are great party throwers. And I won't even shout out the different birthdays that you've had. I'm not throwing no numbers on the table. But what I'm telling you is that these are awesome parties. And I know this is going to be an event. And it's going to be filled with really cool music because Larry's got deep roots in the music industry. And it's going to be an absolute jam. So don't miss it. I'm excited about it. Larry just told me about it the other day. And I literally said, I'm there.
He said, I'm there.
I'm there. Coming. Looking forward to it. Okay, guys. You guys came to get some picks. I'm going to give you, because it's super important, I want you to understand how I'm looking at the SPY tomorrow. So I'm going to give you a little piece of my expectation of the SPY. I'm still leaning bullish. There's absolutely nothing in the charts that's telling me to get fearful. And I'm trying to help you guys. I saw a bunch of people, and I'll give them a chance to answer this as well. But people like Josh, I saw a guy, not calling you out. Okay, we're just having a dialogue as a family. I saw someone said, I dropped $43,000 in SQQQ today, and I'm buying as much as I can. And, I'm not here to give advice, but I just said, okay, let's take a step back. And I said, if you have a $500,000 portfolio, then that might be fine. Okay, Wall Street's going to use SQQQ as a hedge. I'm going to use SQQQ to play calls on days that look like they're falling apart. It'll be a quick go-to spot for a scalp that I'll go in and out of. But this market's bullish. I'm expecting to climb higher tomorrow. I think we're going up, and I'm going to show you the line in the sand on the SPY so you can know if it changes that I changed my opinion. Because I hear people say, well, Josh, yesterday you're bullish. If I do a video tomorrow, guys, and tell you I'm not bullish anymore, it's because what I'm going to show you in the chart has changed. Let's jump into that chart. All right, let me get to that right screen. Okay, guys, we're going to keep this SPY super simple. I'm going to say a couple things here. We are still, this is a 15-minute time frame. Let's go to the daily time frame. All right, guys, let's keep things super simple, okay? First off, basic understanding of the MACD. Whenever you're above the zero line, the bulls are in charge. Whenever these lines are flaring out and pointing up, the bulls are running hard. So guys, the bulls are in charge and these are flaring apart and climbing. So just be careful with trying to load up puts right now. This is not the time to buy puts. You stick with calls when you're in bull territory. You shift to puts when you're in bear territory. We are in bull territory. So I'm only thinking calls. Even if we have a down day, I'm still thinking calls. I won't, so that's the first thing you need to understand. Second, if we zoom in here on the SPY, this all going to come down to 570. So let's look at this real carefully. Let's turn off some things. I didn't get to what you were wanting to get to, did I? Okay, let's just talk about this. The flare indicator in the Stocks with Josh Discord actually signaled 2 buys. I just want to comment on that. They actually signaled the first buy here. So the flare indicator signaled buy the S&P right here. And then the next time it signaled a buy was right here. So it was a 4-hour buy here. It was a 1-day buy here. And I think we've gone up around 6% since that signal. Now, since the Fed, we kind of flattened out here. We expected that. And we're having all these red days, but the market's climbing. Okay, we have nothing but red days, but we're hitting all-time highs. Now, this is a classic doji candle, which talks about indecision. And so you should be concerned when we're at an all-time high and we have that little plus sign. That's a doji candle, and it means undecided market. Bulls and bears battled it out throughout the day, and it ended flat. So here's what it's coming down to. 570 is, for me, the line in the sand. If we finish the week above 570, I'm going into next week with a bullish mind frame. And I might even load some positions in the last half hour of the day, as long as it looks like we're going to finish above 570. And I'm going to keep it super simple. Next week, it can be volatile. But if we actually open and close a candle above 570 next week, then I'm going to tell you guys, this market can go to 590. That's my prediction. If we lose 570, if we hold 570 this week and we lose 570 next week, it means that that this was just a flash in the pan move. And so we need to take caution. But again, remember what I told you about the MACD. Nothing about this is bearish right now, guys. So this is not a breakdown, nor is it a breaking point. The breaking point at this point is higher. Larry, what do you have to say about that, my friend?
Yes, sir.
You concur?
I concur.
All right. Well, let me ask you this question. So I know you. I think you already told me earlier. You showed me your phone. You're showing me some of your plays.
Yeah.
It looked to me like one of the best ones was Palantir.
Right.
And you said to me, I'm just throwing the alpha out for you. You said I'm gonna be buying more of that.
Absolutely.
So what are your thoughts going into next week? Is there anything that will cause you to sell that position? And when are you thinking of buying more of that?
Well, if it's as you notice, for me, it's not a large position size. That was the first thing, because I expect it to be longer and a better rate to buy it. So I literally start the Palantir calls. For those of you that are in the Patreon, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I started buying just 1, 2, 3 calls, right? And I didn't load up, but it is printing, right? And so I only buy more when it comes down in price. And I'm being patient. So if the market does pull back before the election, which it could, then my exit date is after the election, if you notice. And so I'm going to add more only if it goes down. If the market continues to go up, I'm not adding anymore. And I have my stop loss set. So I'm not worried about the small position size. But if it goes down, if the market cools off, I'm going to buy more.
Well, I love that. Palantir is just absolutely crushing it.
Yes.
And my only regret is not buying more.
While I'm DCAing weekly in Palantir stock, and
So you're
I've
still
never
buying
stopped,
daily?
I'm still buying daily.
Just accumulating.
Well, weekly.
And so
yeah.
far, that's been working out. Okay, Mo, I'm coming to you. I'm going to give a commentary, and I'm going to be coming up here soon with my pick, and I'm going to give you the exact game plan. I'm going to give you the exact entry, and I'm going to tell you when I'm going to buy it, and it's going to be my pick going into next week, and I'm excited about taking a position. No guarantee it's going to win, but this is the one that I've been watching, and if the market remains bullish tomorrow, I'm going to give that to you here. But before I do, let's take a brief pause and talk. First of all, the likes are not exactly where they need to be for me to know that you guys are liking this. So take a minute and throw that like in there for me. So I want to talk about crypto.
Yes.
And, I'm going to talk about an unexciting crypto here in a minute. But the fact is that crypto took off like a rocket. Crypto took off when the Fed announced the easing. The markets pulled back. Crypto pretty much didn't. It was like, no, we're leaving you behind.
Didn't you say you was going to buy it when it hit 54?
I did call out Bitcoin, and I said, guys.
And I said, I'm buying at 54. We were live together.
That's right.
And we bought at 54.
Everything that I bought that fateful weekend, scary weekend, and I remember I literally had this moment. Okay, my son has come into some money through a business that we sold, and so he's got more financial responsibility to invest. And so I put together a text message, and I said, okay, here's what I think you should buy. Bitcoin just crossed under 54K. Buy in the next 4 hours. Give it a little time to flush down here. And then I put my phone down, and I got scared. And I was like, oh man. And I was like, ooh, let me just tell him to hold up for a minute. I just got a little scared. And I thought for a minute more, and I was like, Josh, no, they're trying to get you. That FUD, this is the time to buy. So I turned right around and said, no, don't wait. Let's start loading the boat. Everything that he bought and everything that I bought is way up. After it went up, I called him and we had a conversation about stop losses. And, you would think my son would be using a stop loss, and he had not. And I was like, all right, dude, man, we got to figure it out. I said, let's assess some risk. So we went through the positions and how much they were up, and they were up quite a bit. He had thousands and thousands of dollars that he had made in just the last week from when I told him to buy, okay? And I told all of you guys to buy. You had the same content that he had. And we started going through them. Bonk was actually the trickiest, Larry, because Bonk hadn't really come up too much.
Right.
I had him buy some Sui, which was been screaming higher. I had him buy some Blub, but that's unrelated. He just got a little bit of Blub. All of us did. But I started going through. I'm like, okay, well, how much on your position of this size, how much would you be willing to lose? 500, 1,000, 2,500? And, he started thinking about it. He's like, okay, I'd be willing to lose $1,000 on that position. We went through each one in his list. He put a stop loss in. And you know what? This is the way to do it, guys. Protect your capital. It's too precious. That capital for him could be buying when he gets married. He doesn't have that person yet. But when he does find that person, I told him, I said, you got to be in a house. You can't be in an apartment.
Now you know the honey's going to start calling.
Yeah, Judah is ready for the love. Shouting out Judah.
Yeah, but when he gets off the plane, he ain't getting laid.
No. But so I said to him, I said, you can't be taking her to an apartment, man. You got to get her into a house. So the capital is precious. It has to be protected with a stop loss. We have to have an exit strategy. And I even talked to him like, when you taking profit. So we went through the whole thing. So crypto, I'm coming to Mo. It's ripping higher. I begged you guys a week ago to buy Sui, and I told you that the real party would take off after $1.18. It's shot right through that. I think we're up 40-50% in just the last week. One of the best performers, Sui. One of the best performers, guys, giving Solana a run for its money. I'm not saying it's better than Solana, and I'm not saying Solana is better than ETH, but there is a clear lineup of competition, and they're running hard. Mo, let's talk about ETH. I saw somebody in the comment section said that you were, they made a comment like you're the ETH godfather or something. I actually have, the reason why I'm talking about ETH is because I'm starting to get bullish on ETH. And here's the idea, and you might know this, Mo. Tell me if you've heard this story, but all ETH has to do to absolutely rip higher right now is to allow the ETH ETFs to turn on staking. Because there is nothing that Wall Street likes better than a dividend. And so, guys, I want you to write this date down, timestamp the video, put it in the comment section that at 1:38 p.m. Hawaii time, 7:38 East Coast time. I warned you guys. I warned you. I warned you that ETH could turn the boat around and become an absolute rocket ship. They only need one catalyst news story. Mo, I'm curious your thoughts on ETH right now. Have you been trimming any positions? You're holding strong. What are your thoughts on ETH, sir?
Let me throw up the chart there, Josh, if we can, and I'll
go for it.
Put it up there if you can full size it. So here's the deal, folks. I have been buying. I've been buying every single week. I don't talk a lot about it, but those in the Discord know that I just continue to buy. And I said back in July that I thought, after looking at all the macro information and everything that was going on with the Mt. Gox, Germany, and some other issues, the carry trade unwind, that ultimately the first 2 weeks of September, based on the charting I saw back in July into August, that I thought the first 2 weeks would see the low, that it would be over during the first 2 weeks. I said that months before we got there. We got to September 1st. I was nervous. I was like, well, let's see if I was right. We got to the 6th, big dip down. And of course, we hit the Bollinger Band, rode it up. And so far, looks like a nice little higher low here. Another, and now we got the bread bot, my personal indicator, just flashed today. And when you see that little flash, that oven is on, it's ready to bake the loaf. Next stop, 50 EMA. We retake the 50 EMA. We confirm above the 50 EMA. Tightening Bollinger Band. Looks like the bears have pushed this thing. This compressed the spring. It's ready to get some short squeeze done. But first, we really do got to retake the 50 EMA at about 25.87 right now. There's no guarantees. Right now, I will say it again. I am still bearish. I am buying. I continue to buy. I just bought on Monday again. But it has not flipped. I do think the bottom is in personally. I think some good things are going to happen with the Fed absolutely cutting rates, which makes riskier assets more, they look more attractive. Let's just be blunt. That should have been the final catalyst to push this thing. But Josh, you nailed it. If they ever allow staking for Ethereum, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, this thing will go to 5,000 to 10,000 very quickly.
Absolutely. Guys, I'm gonna restate it, just like what Mo's told you. Mo will be a very rich Ethereum guy if they allow staking in those spot ETFs. That gives Wall Street a dividend, and it's going to rip. And I want you to know that I'm literally going to flip open my phone and drop a big bag and immediately purchase. I do have Ethereum. It's not my biggest bag because it has been underperforming. You guys know that I like Sui and Blub. Now you're like, what is Blub? Guys, I think I'm 300% up on Blub since I mentioned it to you. And I got that play from Tribal Trades Mark. They call him Kiwi Mo. Did you know that, Mo?
No.
So my buddy, everybody's convinced he's your doppelganger, and he's from New Zealand.
Ooh.
And so whenever he comes on my show, they call him Kiwi Mo. And listen, Mo's doppelganger is killing it. What's that?
Listen, they say the old saying is that each person in the world has 8 people who look just like them, doppelgangers, in the world at any given time. So
well, we know it to be a fact. We know it to be a fact with Kiwi Mo, and he's the one that brought Blub to me. I think I don't know, but maybe he'd give me some credit for focusing on Sui. Sui is one that we talked a lot about that I had been expressing to him. He'd also been telling me good news stories, but he said, Josh, man, Sui's got a meme coin that just came out. They're positioning to be the biggest meme coin, the early first meme coin to run on Sui. And this could be like Solana's version of Bonk. Now here's, and I only needed to hear one thing. We did a deep dive. My son is sort of my crypto analyst as far as, just basically how are they set up? Are they legit? That type of thing. He did a review. We had some conversations. And if Sui continues to win the way that it does, continues to put pressure on Solana, and if Blub goes to 1 billion market cap, which is very, very feasible, that would turn my $1,000 into $1 million. Now, $1,000 for me is what I could afford to absolutely throw away. I actually put $2,000 into that wallet, and I said, well, I'll buy 1,000. That's what I can afford to throw away. If this begins to pop, I'll add the other 1,000. It's already popped, and market cap on this can easily go to, I think it's sitting, I'm not sure, I won't give it an incorrect number, but I bought in at 7 million market cap, and we're north of 20 or more today. This is one that you guys are going to hear about later from other people, but you heard about it from me from day one.
Like I did with SHIB in 2020.
That's right. This could be 2024's SHIB. But again, don't go dropping tons of money. I put a little in, and I'm up. All right, I think I'm coming to Mr. Grace. Mr. Grace, what are your thoughts on crypto right now in general? The market's frothy. Crypto has been in decline for close to 200 days. Bitcoin. The alts are on the floor. Is this an area where you are looking to make some investments?
Yeah. So I'll say it like this. If you hear something like Blub and you never heard about it, and you hear people are making money on it, you got to ask yourself, are you going to hold it long term, or are you going to trade it, get in, get up, and get out? That's important to know. because I know that a lot of people are going to hear this and they're going to try to put their life savings on something like Blub, and then they're going to miss the whole thing about Josh saying, hey,
he's already up.
I'm already way up in it. I got in when it was 7 million market cap. Now it's 20 million market cap. I'm up XYZ%. It can still go up like crazy, correct? Right? That's true. However, how are we managing the risk? He already told you he managed the risk already. So you got to make sure that you're doing it as well. A lot of people are going to just hype stuff up to infinity, and then you're going to miss out. Now, I don't want to be Mr. Naysayer over here because we trying to make some money. You understand what I'm saying? You got to take risk in order to actually make money in certain things. If you're not willing to take the risk, then you're never really going to make the money in certain aspects. So understand the calculated risk. Now, with that being said, wow, everybody's looking at artificial intelligence and everybody's looking at what Nvidia is doing and what this company, Tesla and all that. That's when you should make sure you take a look at crypto. Nobody's paying attention to it. Maybe now is the time to load up. Maybe now we're in somewhat, I won't say crypto winter, but somewhat of a crypto kind of fall or crypto spring before things heat up. That's when you need to load up on crypto. So let's just keep it extremely simple. Let's make sure that we are using risk management. Make sure that we're paying attention and not getting so married to the stable coins that are supposed to be regular crypto. So Josh had made a joke, and you guys might have heard him say it before, but it was like about XRP. I know the XRP people was mad, so mad. He was saying that XRP is basically a stable coin because that thing, you put your money in there and it is parked, like just parked. But again, people get married to the idea, they get married to the play, and then they'll never let it go and never go to make some money in somewhere else. But you got to remember, don't get married to these plays. Date them, get in, get up, and get out.
Larry, I'm coming to you in just a minute. I'm going to give you guys a quick update. Christian Yanez asked where you can get Blub. You can go to the video in which I discussed Blub, and at the end of that video, there's a link to Tribal Trades. He talked about, he does a whole video on how to get it. I'll give you it in a nutshell. You basically need to buy some SUI out of your Coinbase. You transfer it to, you buy some SUI in Coinbase. You transfer it over to a SUI wallet. In the SUI wallet, there is a hub for doing a quick swap, and then you own it. It's in your wallet. And the current market cap is, again, this is a ridiculously high-risk play. There's no utility to this. This is I refer to these meme coins on these, that become part of these ecosystems as sort of tribal, it's like a tribal community, right? It's like a banner or a flag that people sort of rally behind. It's a brand. Now, later on, utility can be added to these meme coins, but let's keep it real. These are the penny stocks underneath the penny stocks, okay? These are the penny stocks that got delisted. That's what the meme coins are.
I got hundreds of dollars.
Yeah. Market cap right now is 37 million. I got in at 7 million, and I thought this will go to 50 million easy. So I'm going to be just sort of, guys, hit that like for me if you made some money on Blub. Drop a 1 in the chat if you actually bought some Blub when I talked about it. Drop a 1 in the chat if you bought some SUI. I'm going to take you guys quickly into the SUI chart because we just have to look at that and have a little celebratory moment. Guys, on my show a week and a half ago, I actually loaded SUI right here, guys. It got over the 21 EMA, and it came and back tested, and this is the day I talked with you about it, right here, right here. And I told you, I said our first target's 118, and that's where we could get rejected, but if we break above it, we are really going to take off because that's critical structure. Everything here was this sort of this consolidation, and getting back above 118 was super important. So let me quickly get an idea of how much this has come up. We are up 62% since I called this a buy. And I'm going to just make a point that I know all the other 3 guys here can totally relate to. While I was doing the video on SUI, I did all my research, I purchased SUI, I came out and did a video on SUI and Blub, okay? And while I was doing it, everybody in the comment section was saying, what about Doge? What about SHIB? What about XRP? And I came back and I said, what about SUI? Okay, you guys, you got to get, and I learned this from this man right here. You want to be in the fastest moving car, right? And that week, SUI was the fastest moving car. About 6 months ago, I brought everybody Ondo. And at that time, Ondo was the fastest moving car. So, you've got to be willing. The lesson I want you to take from this is, you don't want to overtrade, but you do want to do your research. You got to know I do a ton of research, and you want to be willing to change. And some of you got too many tokens. I am not the crypto guy that I think Mark, my Kiwi Mo, is. He is way deeper down all the bunny trails on crypto than I am. But he's constantly comes back to me and says, Josh, I appreciate what you're laying down. I'm taking financial advice from you and applying it to the crypto knowledge I have. And one of the things I said to him, and I'm going to say it to all of you guys, is consider consolidating into the plays that are proving to be winners or ones that you believe could be a turnaround like Ethereum, and consolidate, because you can't manage a crypto penny stock portfolio, because that's what crypto stocks are. They're highly speculative. A lot of them haven't proven. They don't have massive cash flow. They're being driven by venture capitalists, or they're diluting by selling supply of the token and raising capital, and it's constantly keeping the price down. And so these are factors that you can't manage too many coins. You want to consider consolidating. Larry, what are your thoughts on crypto right now?
Yes.
I know you've been doing some buying there because you and I chat about it all the time.
I'm going to start by saying one of the things that I have done since the Fed pivoted
Yes.
is I've set stop losses on all of my crypto.
Nice.
So as you know, the crypto tends to precede the stock market here recently. Have you noticed that this year?
Yeah, it has
Crypto
been
has
totally
just
front
been
running.
totally front running, right? So now, this is Larry. I'm telling you, I'm the polar opposite of Keenan Grace. I have a ton of dry powder in my stocks and my crypto. Let's be straight. All three of us can have three totally different trading strategies, and all three of us will make money because we know how to operate within those strategies. I'm setting stop losses now because we've had this pump, and I will tell you, like I've been saying, that all of my money in crypto will be in by the end of this month. And I've been constantly saying that.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot. What have we been talking about at the end of this year?
Yes. And so I expect crypto to be higher after the election. I also expect the stock market to be higher after the election. Now, if you look at the charts, you will see that the S&P and the NASDAQ actually tends to bottom out between September and October. So people go, well, it hasn't. We're all good now. Last I checked, we're still in September, and October has yet to come. October for the Russell 2000, which is small caps, and crypto. So crypto can do a little dippity-do even in the October, but I'm expecting to be higher. So I just take those opportunities to do more buying. But I'm going to look you in the camera and tell you that as of right now, I'm setting stop losses. Because if it does dip,
you're concerned about protecting your capital.
I'm protecting my capital. Yeah. And the only reason I have those stop losses is I tend to, if they trigger, I'm buying more.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy when I think it bottoms out. I'm going to buy more, same position size. I'm just going to buy more, and I'm going to continue to buy until the end of the month. That's Larry's plan. I plan on having everything. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to chill.
Watch it rise. Guys, if you get in at the right price, it takes the anxiety down. But when you get in at the right price, it's typically an ugly moment, and you have high anxiety when buying. But my anxiety is gone while holding because I got in at the right price. Keenan, what is Hui Trilla trying to tell us? What does this stand for?
Hui Trilla. Oh, the 6 Ps.
Here in the Stocks with Josh studio.
Ps,
in the Stocks with Josh studio, can you educate the SWJ Hart family with the 6 Ps? I know most of you know, but
man, you
hit them with it.
You got to hit them with the Keenan way.
So I know the 5 Ps. The 6 Ps, the 6th one, I'm gonna leave that one off. But the 5, proper preparation prevents poor performance. The reason that that's so important is because no matter the situation that you encounter, if you are prepared for it, then you don't have to be scared for it. You'll be able to navigate it as best you possibly can. We can't predict what's going to happen in life. Like I said to many people, sometimes You lose your job. Sometimes there's a recession. Sometimes people pass away, and may they rest in peace. You can't predict any of that stuff. But what you got to do is always make yourself prepared so that you can be an asset to yourself and others who need you. So the 5 P's are proper preparation prevents poor performance. I need you. You might need me in some way. That's why you're on this chat. Right? That's why you're in this video. You might need Josh. You might need Larry. You might need Mo. We need you as well. We all got to take care of each other. So then that's what I mean when I say proper preparation prevents poor performance. We all prepare together.
You know, I appreciate that. I love I love Keenan's show. It's the most entertaining. Personally, guys, this guy's got jokes and entertainment and energy all day long while he's making money. So Amir said, Amir's been given this super chat, and throughout the entire show, he's been saying we need a crypto challenge, and I'm going to give that some thought, Amir. I'm listening to you, man. And I'm going to talk with these guys about putting together a crypto challenge in the Stock Squad, something unique that isn't available anywhere else. I'm doing a 3K to 10K challenge in my Discord. But
how about an altcoin and a meme coin? Like, you got to pick an altcoin, you got to roll with an altcoin, then you got to pick.
We're going to brainstorm it. Yeah. I like it. Me and Larry are going to brainstorm it over this evening. But Stock Squad is going to roll out, whether it's just myself or if these guys want to participate. I'm going to put together some sort of a crypto challenge for the Stock Squad coming up. Stay tuned. And I've already learned that we'll do a unique channel for it, so you guys know exactly where to find it. And because I do believe we're getting into an altcoin season, and I do believe the opportunity is there, and I will be looking for, I'm going to put together a challenge. We're going to start with a little bit of a smaller dollar amount, and I'm going to do it exclusively in the Stock Squad. For those who have hung in there with me in the Stock Squad, I'm going to be doing something special there, and we're going to give Amir credit for the inspiration, because I've been thinking, what can I do there? Amir, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to let Mo give his final remarks, and then I'm going to conclude the video with my hot pick. I'm going to tell you guys what I'm looking to buy tomorrow. If it performs the way that I hope it will, I'm going to tell you when I'm going to buy it, what I'm going to buy, and at what price I'm going to buy it here right at the end of this show. Mo, go ahead and how would you like to leave the family today?
Well, one, I hope you guys are having a good time out there in Hawaii. Oh, goodness gracious. Now it's going to be hard for me every time I'm making a video, waking up. It's windy, a little bit chilly here, and you guys are out there enjoying the day. You got go out and whatever they're doing out there, get on the beach, have a little bit of fun. I'll hold down the East Coast here. But Carolyn, I see a question about the recession 2025. I will say this right now. Obviously, I am pretty bearish on the markets in Q1 of 2025. Until then, I have been bullish all the way through 2024, but I have now placed my portfolio squarely on the change that I think is going to happen, and I am well diversified with some risky assets such as crypto, and that took off today, and it was a huge day in the portfolio, as well as in case anything happens that turns the entire economy on its heels, I will be just fine. But for your question, I believe a recession will officially hit starting Q1. That's my base case. Outside of that would be Q2. So there's the two things I see with all the leading economic indicators. Any given time, if people decide to borrow millions of dollars on their credit cards, well, that can change. So we'll, just like the Fed, that's my newest dot plot, if you will, and I've been sticking with that pretty standard here. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great time out there in Hawaii. I'm pretty pumped for where things are going. I love seeing Ethereum pop. Let's see if the crypto markets can roll over and become bullish and get this thing rolling above the 50 EMA. And I did look up some of the staking, just as you mentioned, Josh. A little heads up to everyone out there. Do not believe that the SEC is totally against it. Even we had a couple of commissioners out there, commissioner peers for the SEC, even stated that they saw that on the Bitcoin exchange traded products, right? Blah, blah, blah. They were features of the product that some people would have liked to see included, but weren't. Those are always open for reconsideration as far as I'm concerned. That's including staking. So it can happen, and I do believe it's going to happen, and I believe it's going to happen in Hong Kong before the end of this year, and it'll happen in the U.S. hopefully by the end of 2025.
I love it. And, you know, we call this, thank you, Mo. We call this time CEO time when the four of us get together. And out of that time frame and that experience, whenever we come together, we always find a couple gems that we reflect back on when we're no longer together. I'm telling you guys, that's why I told you to timestamp this video and start paying attention to Ethereum, because I have a feeling that Bitcoin, you know, it's progressing higher, and I think that we're just one news story away from an incredible breakout there. I think they're going to bring it to them, because I can tell you there's nothing that Wall Street wants more than a dividend-paying Ethereum ETF. Let me just think real quick. We got another. These guys have been loading me up with the super chats. I appreciate you guys. We love you guys too. Thank you, Mo. I appreciate what you said about the recession, and I kind of agree with you. It's not. I think we're going to have some choppy moments, and I think, but before it gets really sketchy, I think we're going to go through the election. No matter who goes into the White House, there's always that hope that kind of comes into the change and the idea that they're going to put in some new effort. You know, basically, they're just going to fulfill their promises by spending your money. But that's a whole other story. You know, they're going to. You gave them a mandate. You elected them. Now you're going to pay for it. Okay, but let's get into my pick. We love you guys too. Smalls. So I got a comment on Smalls. Now Smalls follows us on our different pages, and Smalls comments on every single video, and he only puts 3 exclamation marks. Okay, that's all he puts. Yeah. And today we got 3 exclamation marks. Love you guys, and another 3. So we appreciate you, Smalls. I see you people. I see you regulars. Okay, let's talk about what I'm getting tomorrow. I'm going to take you guys into that screen, and you know, don't be too surprised by it. But we're going to talk about Nvidia and what Nvidia is doing right now. And I think that the markets have room to go higher. As I told you earlier, I don't see a breakdown. We will get into a breakdown moment. We've made these series of higher lows. Now, here's what I'm going to be watching for, okay? This is a bullish continuation pattern here, okay? So we've got our higher lows booked. This is a bullish continuation pattern right here. This particular candle was a buy signal the minute it got over the 20 EMA. That's the orange line that you see there. The last time it got over the 20 EMA, which was right here, it printed a buy signal, and we've got a move up from there from about $117 to $131, a nice $11 move. Now, we printed the buy signal here. We had a little bit of choppiness because people were fearful about what the Fed was doing, but we've popped back above the 20 EMA, so we just sort of back tested it, and we broke out of this channel today, okay? Today, we've broken out of this channel. We're above it. Now, we are back testing the channel, which is extremely healthy. Let's put on the 4-hour chart. Okay, we're back testing the channel. That's very normal and healthy. And so I'm going to give a little room for this to come down tomorrow and actually hit the top of my channel. And I'm going to take a little risk. It's not a huge position. It's going to be a lotto play. I have other Nvidia that are leap options till next year, January 17th, 2025. They're up nicely. I'm going to quickly tell you. Oh, I'll check that later. I know they're up pretty well. But here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking for a back test of this channel, guys. And I'm going to be watching it in the morning. Really, we could bounce again and back test this region anywhere from 117 down to 116. And I'm going to enter a small position initially, some options. They'll be slightly out of the money. They'll be about 2 weeks out, maybe 1 week out, depending on the cost. I'll look at that carefully. And I am expecting a move up to $122. And so that's exactly what I'm looking to buy tomorrow. And that's exactly where I'm looking to buy it. And a lot of factors are in play. We're above the 21 EMA. We've made a recent low. The market's moving hot. Let's quickly pop open the MACD. MACD, this is very critical, guys. We're above the 0 line in the camp of the bulls. Now, here's even more important, okay? When you see this line cross beneath and then come back and cross back over, that gives you the next pump up. So I like it, and that's the position I'm going to take, and I'm sharing it with you guys. It's not a suggestion for you to buy, sell, or hold, but we brought some alpha today. Talked about stocks and crypto, and I think each of us have contributed something. Now it's time for you guys to contribute a like to the video and a subscribe. And don't neglect their pages if you never saw them before. These are my friends, And these guys are the ones that I go to, and they sharpen me, and I think we sharpen each other. I appreciate each like. We're almost over 1,000, and that's the mark.
Man.
922. You know, I could just stay on for another hour, you know, get those likes up, my family. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for coming out to
Been a
Hawaii.
pleasure. Thanks for having us.
I absolutely love all of you. Peace and blessings, my friends. Take care.
Peace.
We'll see you soon.